Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
To review the bank feed transactions in QuickBooks Desktop Pro Plus, select Banking, Bank Feeds, Bank Feed Center from the menu bar to open the Bank Feed Center window. All bank feeds appear within the Bank Feed Center in QuickBooks Desktop. To select a bank feed, select it from the Bank and Credit Cards dropdown at the top of the window. All accounts for the selected type of bank feed then appear on separate squares below the dropdown. To view transactions for an account, click its square to select it. Its transactions then appear on the tabs below. To download bank transactions in the Bank Feed Center if needed, select a bank and then click the Refresh button within the Accounts Information square. After downloading the bank transactions, then review them to match them to your QuickBooks transactions. The process for reviewing transactions changes depending on your bank feeds mode. This lesson shows how to review transactions in Advanced mode, which was introduced in QuickBooks Desktop Pro Plus 2021. However, you can change your bank feeds mode at any time if your copy of QuickBooks is updated to the newest release and you are in single user mode. To change your bank feeds mode, select Banking, Bank Feeds, change Bank Feeds mode from the menu bar to open the Preferences dialog box. Then select either the Advanced mode, Express mode, or Classic mode or Register mode option button in the Bank Feeds section. Then click the OK button to apply your change. In the Advanced mode, transactions to review appear on either the Recognized, Partially Recognized, or Unrecognized tabs. You can click any tab containing transactions to view them. Transactions on the Recognized tab are bank transactions QuickBooks thinks it has successfully matched to QuickBooks transactions. Transactions on the Partially Recognized tab are bank transactions that may have more than one match in QuickBooks. Transactions on the Unrecognized tab are bank transactions for which QuickBooks cannot find matching QuickBooks transactions. To review recognized transactions, click the Recognized tab. The Match Status column on this tab shows how QuickBooks matched the transaction. The auto-matched transactions are transactions QuickBooks matched to bank transactions. The Rules Applied transactions are transactions matched by rules you created. You can see the rule when you review the transaction. The auto-recognized transactions are matched because QuickBooks matched the description or downloaded as field to a vendor for whom you had a default expense account set. To view a matched transaction's details, select the View Details link from the drop-down in its Action column. You can close the transaction window when finished. To approve the match, click or select the Confirm choice under the Action column for the transaction. To disapprove the match, select the Not a Match choice from the transaction's Action column. Doing this then removes it from the Recognize tab and sends it to one of the other transaction tab types. To view partially matched bank transactions, click the Partially Recognized tab. To show possible QuickBooks transaction matches for a partially matched bank transaction, click the bank transaction to select it if needed. The possible matching QuickBooks transactions then appear in a section below the bank transaction. To confirm a match, select the option button for the matching transaction in this section, and then click the Confirm Match button. Alternatively, to match it to another transaction, click the Match to Other Transactions button to open a window that lets you manually match a transaction, which we will discuss in detail momentarily. Alternatively, to add the bank transaction as a new transaction and not match it to any transaction shown, click the Add More Details button in this section to open a window where you can edit the details of the transaction, and then click the Save and Add to Register button to save it and add it as a new transaction. Alternatively, to delete the bank transaction, click the Ignore button in this section. To view unrecognized transactions, click the Unrecognized tab. To add a bank transaction to QuickBooks, if you don't need to add any more transaction details to it or split its amount between accounts or jobs, click the Add link under its action column. Alternatively, to add the transaction and also edit its details, select the Add More Details link under its Action Columns dropdown to open a window that lets you edit its details. To add a line to split the amount if needed, click the Add Line button in this window and then enter the split line details as needed. To save the transaction and add it to the register when finished, click the Save and Add to Register button in this window. Alternatively, to delete a bank transaction, select the Ignore command from its Action Columns drop-down menu. Alternatively, to match the transaction to one already in your books, select the Match to Existing Transactions command to open a window that lets you match it to an existing transaction. Here you can find and select the QuickBooks transaction to which to match the bank transaction. If needed, to split entries to balance the remaining amount if the amount doesn't match, check the Resolve checkbox. Then enter the resolving line splits as needed. Note you cannot add split entries using Resolve for open bills, bill payments, multiple posted transactions, transfer, general journal entries, sales tax payments, paychecks, liability checks, or sales receipts and bill payments directly deposited to a bank account and not into the undeposited funds account. Separately, and if needed, to show a full or partial payment if matching a payment to a bill, edit the amount under the To Pay column. When you are finished matching the transaction, click the Save and Add to Register button. If needed, to record a credit card payment transfer from a checking or savings account to a credit card for credit card bank feeds only, you can select the Record Transfer command from its Action Columns dropdown to open a window that lets you select the payment account and add the payment details. To then add the transfer to the register, click the Save and Add to Register button in this window. Additionally, to perform batch actions on multiple selected bank feed transactions on any of these tabs, check the checkbox to the left of the transactions to select them. Then click the Batch Actions dropdown in the lower left corner of the screen and select the desired batch action to perform on the selected transactions from the menu that appears. To view the transactions you confirmed or added and moved to the register, click the Added to Register tab. To view a matched transaction in QuickBooks from this tab, double-click it to open it in a new window.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.